Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Erica Kareem of the Starting Over Now Summit. And the reason why we've done the Starting Over Now Summit is because we, as a community, we feel like when we're going through things, we're going through it all by ourselves. People have never been through what we are going through, and we are not learning how to bounce back with resilience. We're slow to get up. We're slow to stand in our power and in our purpose. So today I have the plum pleasing pleasure of interviewing Miss Don. Miss Don, thank you so much for coming on here
Thank
with
you.
me.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Okay, so my name is Dawn, last name is Blanchard. I am a life coach, a grad student in master's in mental health. I am a student support specialist, a suicide interventionist. I am a jury maker, a publisher, and a poet.
Woo! All right. That is so awesome. So tell everybody, before we get started, you didn't know me, I didn't know you. I don't even think we were friends. Were we friends on Facebook or
No,
anything?
no, we weren't.
What
Mm-mm.
made you put your hand up and say, yes, I want to do this?
This is something, the topics that you're talking about is something that I've actually experienced pretty much all of them. And I work with a lot of women as well as some of my students with these issues. So it's something that I do every day. So if I can give back or have a larger audience hear that, it makes it even better.
Yes. I would just want to say thank you for putting your hand up when the call was called out to you. So thank you. So tell everybody your story that you want people to
Well,
understand.
the one of the biggest things I want to share, people go through hurt, they go through breakups, they go through divorce. I've done all those. And like you said at the beginning, a lot of women get to the point because of dealing with hurt, they usually try to jump in another relationship or another situationship before they actually heal. If you don't come back to the beginning and learn to heal yourself first, which we all know is self love, guess what? No other relationship is going to work. So you got to do the work. You got to put in the time to heal what was broken before you try to pursue something else. And that was a big thing for me. I got out of a divorce, and as soon not too long after, I was in another situation, and I realized when I look back now that I should have took more time.
Mm.
Taking time and loving yourself for who you are is a big thing. A lot of people, most people don't want to be by themselves, which is fine. But guess what? You got to love yourself while you're by yourself. Love yourself where you're at and heal what's broken to move forward.
And I totally agree with you 100%. We go in one relationship after another. We just don't get to know
Hmm.
who we are, what we want, what we like, have vision for our life because we're
Hmm.
so supportive of others. I'll help you, but I don't know how to
Right.
help myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it's a misconception. A lot of people don't realize what they're doing is loving others, which makes them feel good, but it's temporary. It's not a long term solution. It's actually a short term solution for a long term problem. So, with that being said, you have to take the time to get to know who you are, love who you are, and focus on healing you. No, you don't want to be alone, but you know what? I'm going to love me where I am.
That's right. Absolutely. And I understand because a lot of times we are not focused. We don't even know that we need to heal. We don't know
Yeah.
that we are our own worst enemy and we are our
Hmm.
own problem because
Right.
what we do is we go into one relationship after another with this different man, same situation, same
Hmm.
stuff.
Yeah. It's a preoccupied mindset. As long as I'm staying busy, I'm moving and I'm moving on and I'm helping or loving others Everybody thinks they're okay, but the problems are still there. All you did was put it in a box, and then something's going to trigger you, and that will reoccur. And when that reoccurs, then you're stuck again. You're back to square one. You never really heal the problem. You just put it away for right now.
That is so deep. Yes, yes. So let me ask you, just to get a little bit and dig deep. Did you have any children with before your divorce, or any
Oh
children?
yeah. So I have four grown children. I have four grown children, quite a few grandkids, and I have three great grandchildren.
What? Oh my
Yes.
God. Okay, I'm so
So
sorry to like what, but I can't believe you have great grands as well.
mhm, yes.
Wow.
So this is definitely something that's a long cycle. I've been married and divorced with my ex-husband, who I have children with, and it was hard because I was the breadwinner. I was the one that worked. I was the one that made sure to provide. So I just kept going. I kept going. I kept going. Moved on to the next situation. Kept going, and ended up being married and divorced more than one time because of it. But when I stopped and said, you know what? I can't do this to myself anymore. I see the cycle that I'm going through, and I had just finished Christian counseling certification, and I realized that I was doing what I was telling people not to do. So
Oh,
now I'm very honest of being able to say, I can tell you why I was married, why I got divorced, and what I contributed to it, because it's always not one sided.
yes.
Even even when you don't really do anything, you consider yourself doing the best that you can. If you allow things to go on, you're still contributing. Your
Yes.
allowance is even contributing to the situation. So I had to step back and I had to realize, you know what? I got to get back to loving me. So one of the things I use with a lot of my life coaching clients, I tell them, guess what? Every morning you look in the mirror, you got to love that person that's looking at you.
That's right.
And if you don't, guess what? You're not ready to move on.
Mm-hmm.
We have a tendency to tell ourselves and think that we got to love everybody around us, but not love ourselves. And it starts with us.
So let me
I hear,
ask you. Go ahead.
I hear a lot of parents make the statement, I love my kids more than I love myself. That's not how that works. You have to love you
Right.
unconditionally to be able to provide for your children. So if you're taking care of you, your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health, you will be able to provide for your children the way you should. But if you're not, it doesn't work. It sounds good, but it doesn't work.
Right. Absolutely. I was going to say that I meet so many people because what I'm hearing you say is that maybe you didn't have work life balance. Do you think that that's what it was? Because a lot of corporate women, they work, 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 work. You know what I'm saying? And
That's how I was. Mine was even worse because I worked for myself. For 30 plus years, I worked for myself as a natural hairstylist, which I still am on the side with all my other jobs. But back then, I was full time and I was running a business. So I provided financially, but my time was really, really thin because I was constantly at work because I made sure that my children never went without anything. Sometimes they probably had too much, which we have a tendency to do. We overcompensate for what we don't have.
so, do you really think that? Let's talk about this. Do you really think that a couple can have new agreements and the woman can work while the man stay home and do with the kids and
Of course, I did that with my first husband. I did that. I would have never left if he hadn't have gotten some other issues going on with being abusive, because that would turn into an abusive relationship.
Mhm.
But I was a breadwinner. I made more money than him, so it was more beneficial for him to be at home and me be at work. So yes.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
So a lot of women can do that. It just
Oh yeah.
depends
Oh
on
yeah.
it's per
Yeah. It
agreement,
depends.
right?
It depends on the agreement. It depends on who the people are. People have to realize not everything fits everybody. Everything is not cookie cutter. And if you and that person have a solid relationship and you have a solid conversation about what you expect and what you want to put into it, of course you can. There are some men that I'll tell you that can cook better than women, take care of kids better than women, and a woman works. That's their agreement. And then on the other side, I know in my household, well, not my household, my children, I have one of my sons that is married, and guess what? His wife is not a provider. She is a provider at home. He doesn't want her to work because he said his mother raised him that way, that a man provides for his family. And she
Okay.
makes sure that their house is always taken care of and the kids are. And it works for them. My
Yes.
other daughter, my daughter, her and her husband both work, and they have a schedule where they sit down and talk about finances together. One is a little better with money than the other, and they know that, so they talked it through. But these are lessons that they've learned because both of them have been married in the past, so they were able to sit down and really talk about what they were looking for in this situation.
So let me share with you, and you probably already said it, but I'm going to ask you in a different way. What are two principles that you live by right now to have like just success for yourself? Because again, we always looking outward how we can help our husbands, how we can help our best friends, how we can help this person. But what do you do for yourself? What are your principles that you live by? Do you, one of them could be, I tell people no. Do you tell, have
Oh
you learned
yeah,
how to say no
I
too?
understand. I understand, and I had to learn the hard way, but I did find out how to say no. I believe my success comes from things that I was taught as a child. I believe in fulfilling my dreams. I just do. That's why I'm at the age I am now, still in school, because my grandmother told me a long time ago, "There's nothing that I cannot do if I put my mind to it." So being able to know boundaries and saying no and being able to believe in self is the reason why I would say my success is the way it is now. And I'm steadily striving for it.
I love it. I love it. So, someone may be watching this and they may be going through a divorce. How did your children take the divorce? And how old was the youngest one at that time?
My children were really small when I got divorced, and honestly, they didn't really realize a lot when they were smaller, but as they got older, one of my kids came to me and said, "Why did you stay as long as you did?"
What? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, yes.
And when I asked why they said that, they was like, "Well, mommy, yeah, I remember you going to work all the time and you doing this and you doing that, and it seemed like you were always doing it by yourself." So
My
lessons that I learned when they were smaller is what I taught them, and how to be adults for themselves. So mhm.
That is so good. We never know what our children are seeing, what they're going through, what they're whispering to their
Oh
siblings
yeah, and they do.
behind
They
our
see it
back.
all, and that's why I tell people always be honest with your children. Talk to them, talk with them. Don't talk at them. Talk with them and have a conversation. Our children know more than we give them credit for because we say they're kids. Oh, it doesn't affect them. A lot of things do affect them. They just stay in the kids' place, as we were always told, and they don't say anything. But it causes problems later down the line because now they're confused and they have a lot of questions. So no, my children, we have very open, honest conversations all the
Absolutely. Now, when you were younger, was you taught that old school, what goes on in this house, stay in the kid's place, or was you the
time.
opposite?
No, I was taught that, and I believe just the opposite. I
Mm,
tell people, guess what? If something's going on in this house, if something has happened, and I need to get help, I'm gonna get help because I went through that abuse as a
mhm.
child. So I know what it means to get that help because nobody was there for me. So I have become that advocate for my students in my school, a lot of my clients that guess what? Everybody has a voice and everybody deserves to be heard.
Yeah. No matter the age,
So
right?
I go above and beyond, yeah, with that. That is something I truly go to the nth degree for.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I know that you are at work. I don't want to hold you so
Yes.
long. I wish I could have you all day because this is so
Yeah, we're
good.
gonna have to set up. That's what we're gonna have to do. Set up a time where we can just talk about different things all day. I would love to be able to do that.
So
So yeah, The students, I've had a couple students come in my office, so yeah.
Yep. Tell everybody how they can get a hold of you.
You can find me on Facebook. I have my jury pages on there, which is DB2 Jury Designs. My name is Dawn Blanchard. As you see on the screen, you can always send me an inbox message. I have more total strangers send me messages with questions than anything else. So, yes, my page is an open page, it's not blocked. So, you can always find me. And then a lot of clients I have, they actually text me. So and I am going to say this, that my number is available to anybody, and that is 317-418-2076. Always feel free if you're in a crisis or you need some advice or you need help with something, send me a text.
All right, I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on here with me. You are so amazing. And we are going to have to get together and do a round table or something. That would be
Yes,
so
ma'am.
wonderful. All right, you have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon.
You too.
Bye
Thank you. Bye
bye.
bye.
Bye bye. Hey everyone, listen, if you have not signed up and registered for the Starting Over Now Summit, all you have to do is go to startingovernow.com, startingovernow.com, register, and so you will be able to get all the notifications, okay? So we will be back shortly with our next interview for the day. Talk to you in a minute.